Hey everyone, so I wanted to talk to you guys about breastfeeding. Last week was World Breastfeeding Week, but this week I wanted to just add some tips that you may not easily find on just your regular Google search or from the different pages on Instagram. And these are tips that I wish someone had told me when I was starting out my breastfeeding journey with my first son. And even with my second child, I still had so many questions. One of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is first and foremost is breastfeeding does not come easy for everyone. And I know you hear that a lot, but for those moms who are pregnant, for those of you who are expecting your first child, I wanted to just encourage you that I did all of that. I read all the books, I talked to all my friends, but it really doesn't come as easy as it seems. For some, I will say that it's like they catch on right away. But I wasn't that case. So for those of you who may have any struggles, just know that you're in good company and that's totally normal. And remember, breastfeeding is something that you're going to be learning. You're learning about it and baby is learning. So give yourself lots of patience, give yourself lots of grace. It's a process, it's a journey. Don't be too hard on yourself, okay? One of the first things I want to talk to you about is the latch. The latch. Everyone talks about, having that great latch, that perfect latch. There's no such thing as a perfect latch. The fact of the matter is that you're probably going to go through some challenges in the beginning. And this could be for a variety of reasons. What are some things that may cause challenges initially? Baby could have a physiological reason why he or she is not able to latch on properly, like a tongue issue. And I won't go into full depth with that, but just know that that may be something that some babies struggle with. It may be a positioning issue. It may mean that you're just overwhelmed. A lot of times when we are stressed, when we are overwhelmed, it is really hard to breastfeed. I wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey with my first son. When I had Levi, I was already a nurse, but I wasn't working in the field of maternity. And to be honest, I read all the stuff. I asked all my friends who breastfed. But when it came time for me to breastfeed on that first day, yes, he latched on and I felt like, oh my goodness, this is going to be easy. But later that night on the first day, for some reason, he was just not staying on. It wasn't happening as easy as I thought it would be. I had all these visitors in the room in the hospital and I was overwhelmed. Everyone was telling me what to do and it was just not working out. And at the end of the day, I think when I look back, I was just very overwhelmed and stressed. It was a new process for me and it was a new process for baby. And I had to reach out and get a lot of support in order to learn what works well for me. But what I wanted so much that first day was just a moment of quiet to figure it out. And that's okay. I want you guys to be encouraged to ask for help. No matter where you are in a journey, first baby, third baby, bottle fed before, transitioning to breastfeeding, whatever it is, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Some of the resources that helped me a lot during my pregnancy and breastfeeding journey was La Leche League. La Leche League is an international organization that focuses on breastfeeding. They have consultations that you can get. You just reach out to the person that's over your area, your county, and they're worldwide. And a lot of the resources that they have available are free. Another website that helped me a lot when I was pregnant or when I was doing my breastfeeding journey was kellymom.com. That's a great place for resource for not just breastfeeding, but also for sleep tips and just overall that newborn phase, what to do with certain issues. I will say that the first 6 weeks are your most challenging. They're your most challenging, but one thing I can say, at least for me and for most of the moms I know, after that 6 weeks point, it's like it's a new kid. You're sleeping a little bit better. You figured out this whole breastfeeding thing, and then you're kind of grateful that you didn't give up. So if it's hard initially, give yourself 6 weeks. Give yourself the time to figure it out. Reach out for help, find support groups. Listen, I went to support groups. I dragged my husband along. I reached out. To this day, I still have Christine's number, who was my the person over this area that I was able to reach out to by text to just ask for tips and guidance and help. What else? A common question I get is, when should I start pumping? That depends on a lot of factors. It depends on how soon you plan to go back to work. It depends on, does baby already have a good routine breastfeeding directly from the breast? Are you planning to start pumping so that you can have dad or someone else bottle feed so that you can get more sleep? There's a lot that goes into that. And I do want to give one disclaimer. That whole, I'll pump so that I can get more sleep. You have to remember, every time the baby's not at the breast or you're not pumping, you're telling your breast to make less milk in a sense. Remember, breast milk and breastfeeding is a supply and demand thing. So if you go long periods without breastfeeding, chances are your supply is going to be affected in some way. So be mindful of how to do that. And the handheld pump, I wish someone told me that. I did not know about those small little handheld pumps that you could use until my second kid, and I think it was 6 months into breastfeeding. And I'm a nurse, and I just didn't think of listen, you can get a handheld pump, and that could make it easy for those times when you're away from baby for an extended period of time, but you don't necessarily want to walk with a big old pump that you have to plug in. You could just, with one hand, do each breast at a time and at least empty, whether you're pumping and dumping because you went out for a night, or you're storing that milk. You walk with a little cooler bag that you can store your milk in. And your insurance. A lot of moms don't know that the insurance covers your breast pump. Your insurance covers your breast pump. Almost all insurances in the United States cover breast pump. Now, those of you who are outside of the United States, I don't know what the policies are there, and you may want to research that on your own and reach out to your insurance company. But in the States here, if you are planning on breastfeeding, and even if you're not, go ahead and get it, because you never know. You may decide to later on, and you don't want to be in that moment where that's when you're trying to figure out what to do. Your doctor's office usually has a form that they can send out to your insurance company, and you can get a breast pump. And they usually have multiple options for you to choose from. What else? Get a pumping bra, something you should invest in. When you go back to work and you are going for those pumping breaks, a pumping bra is so great because your hands will be free. I used to be charting and pumping at the hospital. So you learn how to multitask a lot when you are breastfeeding. And for those of you who aren't breastfeeding for whatever reason, I want to just tell everyone that, listen, feeding baby is the most important thing. Yes, breast milk is superior to all. Obviously the nutrition component of formula is not the same as breast milk. However, you have to do what's best for you and your family and for your mental health, okay? Breastfeeding, I feel like one of the reasons why we struggle with it so much, especially here in the United States, and just overall nowadays, is because of the lack of support for it and the fact that we have to rush off to work so quickly in that early postpartum period. And it really does affect our ability to produce breast milk, our ability to maintain a good supply, our stress level, and it makes it hard, especially for those who may be single moms or going through other special circumstances in life. I want to say that breastfeeding does save you money long term because you're not buying all that formula. But if you're not able to, or you choose not to, it makes you no less of a mom. Remember, on this journey of motherhood, lots of grace, lots of grace. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great, great day.